Hey everyone, this is Tony with the 80 Star Basketball Channel. We're going to recap this past week's auctions and preview upcoming ones. The auctions we'll be going through are starting from June 26th for pass sales. That was last Thursday. Fanatics had their premier auction, and we're going to head into this week and have a preview of the July 11th to 12th Heritage Auction, which has some star goodness. Little housekeeping items for information regarding star cards. Please always feel free to check out Basketball Gold, wealth of information, as well as the Star Basketball Cards website. Also, check out auctionreport.com. Plenty of information here regarding upcoming auctions. And jumping right into it, we're going to look at the Star 101 MJ. There were 6 confirmed sales since last Thursday. Everyone knows about the 7.5 that sold at Fanatics Premier Auction. That went for $90,000. That was a nice card. Borderline 8, beautiful copy. There was also a BGS 8.5 that sold for $52,723. Another eBay sale was a BGS 8, $27,000. BGS 7.5 in a newer slab went for $15,000. Then Golden had a authentic altered copy that sold for $14,640. And the last one was an eBay sale for $9,100. And this was a known authentic altered copy trimmed. So you can see with the top order. There's 3 upcoming auctions, one ending in 5 days, 6 days, and 9 days. We have a PSA 8, PSA 7 that has 16 bids already at $27,795. And we have a recently added BGS 7.5 at $432. And that's on Fanatics Collect. Getting into the controversial 195, and I say that because of the Fanatics Premier auction. We had the last Thursday sale at $56,000. This is the one that many of us thought was trimmed or cut short. We talked a lot about that last week, but we'll get into a little bit about it today. BGS 8.5 sold almost $20,000. 4 Sharp Corners sold a BGS 7.5 for $6,100. And the last 2 were at Fanatics, and they were PSA 5s each, 3840 and 3240. We can take a look at those more when you have a chance. Regarding the Fanatics Premier sale of the card, that was a BGS 9 at $56,000. This is a copy of the uncut sheet from the back view. You can see how the MJ is on the very bottom, and you can see the cut lines here. And looking at the cut line indicator on the right and just going over with your mouse or eyes to the left, you can see how that cut line goes right up against the 195 number in that card. So that's why we see a lot of these with the card number 195 being cut, at least partially. Then we have the video that I put together. I didn't put too much out before the auction. I didn't want to influence it negatively. And I know the owner contacted me, who bought both cards, the 195 and the 288, and he feels extremely comfortable with his purchases. I didn't bid on any of these. I felt too uncomfortable because I think these are both altered or cut short. The card in back is a PSA graded 195. And you can see here, that's the one that's faded. And in front of it, I have the BGS copy. And if you disregard the slabs, because I already took those into account, and you can see how I lined up the racetrack here. And even though the NBA logo is a little bit off and not perfectly overlaid, it's just enough. And you can see here that, okay, you can give it a variance, so maybe the top to bottom is fine. But since I feel comfortable with the overlay being accurate, left to right, this is altered, in my opinion, whether it's by the factory miscut, because Star did use a third party company to cut the sheets, or if it was trimmed. There is a known collector who is able to get sheets. Take that with a grain of salt. Upcoming 195 auctions, there's 2. One is on eBay. The first bid is at 7,650 for a PSA 6. We also have a PSA 7 that's available, and that's currently at $1,855 with 7 bids. Taking a look at the 288 MJ, same story here. We're going to start right off the bat. $96,000 for the BGS 9 that many of us in the hobby and folks far more knowledgeable than me, we all feel this is the same story as the 195. This has either been trimmed or secondary cut. I doubt if it was a factory miscut, but there's always that option. Then there was a Fanatics buy it now of a PSA 6 at 5,550. And we lastly had a raw copy sell for $2,700. Taking a look at that Fanatics copy that had 49 bids at $96,000. You can tell here how it's perfectly centered, which is a unicorn for this card, especially where it was at on the sheet. And if you compare that to a PSA 6, you can see here, even with this thin border here, you pretty much have a thick border on the left-hand side that offsets the thin border on this side. And if you compare that to this one here, I don't think there's enough border on the left to offset this perfectly centered border here. And if you look at the overlay, especially from the back, I understand that the racetrack isn't perfectly overlaid, but the logo is pretty close with the NBA. The official NBA licensed product logo is overlaid properly. So is the Michael Jordan, the Chicago Bulls, and the 1984 Rookie of the Year text. And if you take a look at that, even if the copyright text is a little bit off, not perfectly overlaid, you can see how the card is extremely short, left to right, and even top to bottom. Moving on to upcoming 288 sales, not many of them. We have a PSA 5 at 3,250. We also have a BGS 9. This is not the same copy that we just looked at. That was sold last Thursday. But the starting price is 174. I think this is interesting because the previous high for a BGS 9 or a PSA 8.5 was set this past week at $97,000. And this is nearly 3.5 times comps of what the PSA 8.5 went for. So just food for thought. And I understand that the 285 is a far condition sensitive card than the other two MJs, and it's harder to find center toe. Second year MJ, the 117 from the 85-86 set, 2 confirmed sales. One was with Probstein on eBay, 9.5, sold for a really powerful price of $8,225. This was extremely strong. Really nice card. Greg Morris also sold a BGS 9 that went for $3,150. Let's take a quick look at the difference in the cards here. So 9.5 corners, 8.5 surface, 9 centering, and 9.5. This is a nice card. Let's compare this to the card that went for over double. Nice centering here. BGS gave it a 10, but that's an opinion. So lowest grade on here is 9.5 with 110. Maybe a little bit of tilt on the top border, hard to tell how it is. And if you take another look at this Greg Morris copy, yeah, I understand how this 9 may have a little bit more white on the bottom 2 corners. But if you compare that to the 9.5, which also has a little bit of faint white, in my opinion, and it's just mine, I don't see the benefit of paying, 2.5 to 3 times of what this card went for this, but just for a half a grade difference. Upcoming auctions for a 117 is a BGS 9 at eBay. This copy definitely isn't as strong as the previous BGS 9 we took a look at, and obviously not the 9.5. We had a viewer ask about bagged pass sales. That's one item that we don't always talk about every week, even though I know that Brian talks about bags frequently, and uncut sheets. So we had a first year Celtics team bag. This is the base set, not one of the secondary Celtics team bags. That's not part of the base, sell for $2,000. Then we had a third year 85-86 base set team bag of the Celtics, white copy, $213. Houston Rockets team bag set went for nearly $189. That's from the third year set. Another 85, 86 Celtics bag, white borders, $187. And then you had a few other sets that you can take a look at. An easy way to search for past sold bags is just use an application like Car Ladder. I recommend it. And just you can copy and paste what I have on my screen, and you'll get all the bag prices. Now we're moving on to the Stockton, Barkley, and Olajuwon. 3 confirmed sales since the 26th. BGS 9 of the Stockton card went for 2130, and I'm taking a look at this copy, and there's and this is diamond cut, so just be aware. There was a BGS 9 Charles Barkley, proper cut, just a little tilted inside the slab. This sold for 1,225 BGS 8, and we had a authentic copy in a BGS slab of the Olajuwon, most likely trimmed, and that sold for $339. Upcoming sales of those 3 players, I'm seeing nothing at auction, at least according to Alt. Like to wrap everything up with the July 11th and 12th Heritage auction, and they have quite a bit of star goodness here, sorted by lot numbers lowest to highest. They have a PSA 7 Thomas rookie. Then you have the well-courted 5x7 Jordan Court Kings, BGS 7.5. You have a 101 MJ, PSA 6. Then you have the 195 PSA 6, a 288 and a BGS 6.5, another 101 BGS 7.5. We have a complete 84 set, and that's 37 slabs are graded. Then you have an 85 slam dunk contest. That's BGS 9. You have a graded set of the Munching Crutch by PSA. Jordan All Rookie First Team card, 8.5. And you got other cards here that I'll hover over. There's a bag of the last 11 Rookie of the Year. That's it. As always, thanks for watching. And if you have a comment, feedback, or question, please feel free to leave that here on YouTube, or you can use the Facebook Star group. Thanks.